So another dog walker video, and this video is about the most useful animals for people through the ages. And of course one of the first animals that was domesticated is the dog. So you see dogs. And these dogs are also of working type. These are terrier type of dogs and are there for predator control and rodent control if needed. This rodent could be a gopher or a rat, but also hunting and pushing rabbits out of the bushes. Rabbit is a different type of rodent, of course. There are different subfamilies, but also nutrient control and sometimes even used against beavers. But predominantly these are used against predators such as foxes, badgers and raccoons, but also sometimes against bigger predators such as bobcat, wildcat, etc. So the dog is an important domesticated animal. And why? It helped in hunting, it helped in herding of cattle and sheep in later phases, but also offered protection, companionship, warmth, etc. Another very important animal, in my opinion, is the rabbit. And why? Rabbits breed fast, they offer a source of meat and they don't need extreme amount of room, but they only came in a later phase, same as chickens. The earlier cattle that they had were more of the bovine, so such as cows, horses for transportation, and also they had pigs for meat, but most particular they had sheep, because sheep are extremely docile and can graze along different regions, and also they could use dogs to get them where they need to go. So this was a very important one. But if you now look in the modern setting, I think dogs are waning because they don't have the functionality anymore that compared to many other animals. But there are still some working breeds that do have that functionality, but they are becoming scarce. But other animals that are of big importance, especially now, are chickens and pork, because they can be used. They don't have big needs. They can use all kinds of rubbish, so to say, and feed on that and make themselves fatter. Chickens also produce eggs, which is a big benefit, so you don't have to slaughter them. Rabbits were very important in the past, especially during war times, but are not that important anymore in the current state, because chickens produce eggs, whereas rabbits do not, and chickens are a lot easier to get from feed to meat. So also the feed conversion rate on the Cornish Rex is 1.6, which is extremely good and far better than those rabbits, which might be 3 to 4. So would be twice as much feed needed for the same amount of meat. And as mentioned, you also have benefits, being that chicken also produce eggs if needed. So you have a little bit more different types of things that you can apply. That being said, as a source for manure, I think rabbits are far better, because they produce cold manure, which can be directly applied, which also is far less smelly, so you have a far more hygienic type of environment. And also hygienic benefits that I mentioned. There are also there, if you see that you have animals that are far less messy. Ducks were also important in the past. A lot of people kept ducks in their ponds for these purposes. Oftentimes they also made very nice type of ducks, like Mandarin type of duck, and they did not allow them to fly away. But ducks are a lot more messy than chickens are, and they need more different types of benefits. Oftentimes a lot more access to water. You also have guinea fowl, which is extremely noisy but very good against bugs and parasites, and also as a watchdog type of animal. Same was said about geese. Geese were like bigger ducks but have a lot more watchdog potential than ducks have. But guinea pigs, in my opinion, make more noise, and for a whole kinds of reasons, which can be a good thing if you want sensitivity, it can be a bad thing if you want to have specific answers to real threats instead of just something that makes noise all the time and is a pest. But if you now look in the modern day and age, if you should look into purposeful animals, I think chickens, rabbits and guinea pigs and other fowl like this guinea fowl can be a good way to introduce, but in an urban setting I think you need quiet animals, so this would benefit rabbits more, like whereas guinea pigs and guinea fowl and even chickens make a lot more noises than rabbits do. So they are far less silent type of animals. So that depends on what you need. Transportation. Nowadays we don't need horses that much. If the crisis about energy will sustain, I can imagine also there to be some movements back to the old. But in the old we also had bicycles. And those are far more efficient ways of transportation for personal use. Only benefit is that a horse or a bull can pull a lot more, or a donkey or a mule. Hope this helps.